Good evening. You're welcome to Ben Television, broadcasting live from London. My name is Kayode Ogundamisi, and this is actually a special edition of Spot On and Politics with KO, courtesy of Ben TV, as Chief Executive Alice Oshoyede, who's made this possible. And then we did promise you yesterday that the Executive Governor of Osun State, His Excellency Governor Rauf Aregbesola, is going to join us in the studio, and we're happy to just tell you that he's one of the first chief executives that would actually come 9 on the dot, as we did say that he should be in the studio. And it was a surprise when he came in like 5 minutes to 9 and he said, we're here and ready to go. So I would like to welcome Governor Rauf Aregbesola, Executive Governor of Osun State, to Ben TV. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you, Kayode. Yeah. Pleasure.
So what brings you to the United Kingdom?
We got an invitation from the Partnership for Child Development of Imperial College in conjunction with the All-Party Parliamentary Group on Agriculture and Food Security to come and present our experience on the Osun School Feeding and Health Program, which we call OMELS, to the select group of parliamentarians and people at the Parliament.
Okay.
On
So
the 22nd of this month.
So this program, if you would explain, is it like you're feeding school children, or what is it all about?
Well, we met a program piloted by the World Bank, UNESCO, and coordinated by PCD on ground, which used to be called Homegrown School Feeding Program. The one we meant was badly managed, badly put together. And as a fallout of our education summit of February 2011, some 45 days after our inauguration in November, we repackaged the entire thing and we renamed it Osun School Feeding and Health Program, and with an acronym of OMELS. And our own program, school feeding program, caters for pupils in primaries 1 to 4, which we now call elementary school. And we have in all about 287,000 pupils that we give nutritious midday meal on a daily basis. So that is it.
Okay, so let me now come back to, there's been quite a number of controversies, I don't know if you've heard about it. The first thing is, why are you trying to Islamize Osun State? Why are you trying to turn Osun State into a Muslim society? I mean, you swore to protect everybody, be it Muslim, Christians. That's a trend. Everyone is saying it. Not everyone, actually. Quite a number.
A good number of people.
Yes.
It's quite strange to me too. I wouldn't know where they got that from. It's fallacious. Let's be clear on that. It's quite fallacious. There is no iota of truth in it. If anything, my administration is the first in the history of Nigeria that we give absolute liberty and freedom, including recognition to all faiths. The fact is, no government had ever recognized the African traditional religion in official events and circles. We are the first to recognize African traditional religion.
So apart from the Muslim...
Excuse me. Were I to be a fanatical Muslim, why would I recognize African beliefs? If anything at all, the fact that we recognize the indigenous belief of our people should sufficiently be enough to erase that mischievous notion from anybody that we are for a particular religion. It's a lie. As simple as that. We must tell the world that belief that some people carry about is false. It has no basis at all in reasoning and logic. It is simply fallacious and mischievous. There is nothing close to it. Probably what they are saying, which they can't really voice out, is that I'm a Muslim.
Okay, so you think... but you dress, when you go out on public outing, you go with, is a complete Muslim attire, and it's quite right that people will think, well, this governor is, but let me ask you this. What is the composition of your cabinet in terms of Muslim, Christian?
No, it's obviously it's painful to me that I will have to make this an issue. My background, my experience do not in any way give consideration to all of this. But because you have asked the question, I will give it to you. More than 3/4 or 2/3, let's be fair. More than 2/3 of my cabinet members are Christians.
More than 2/3?
2/3. More than 2/3 of my cabinet members are Christian. More than 3/4 of the permanent secretaries I appointed, not inherited, I appointed are Christians. More than half of the members of the House of Assembly of Osun that came in after I had been inaugurated are Christians. Virtually all judges in Osun are Christians. So I cannot, if there's no basis in logic, reasoning, and reality for their charge.
So is it as a result of this criticism that you've decided to use state funds to build a church in Osun State?
How can that be? I've told you, really. You see, when I read some of these things, I ask myself, what could be the motive behind this falsehood? I ask myself, what could be the motive behind this falsehood? Outside mischief, I can't find any basis for it. Why? As far back as 2006, when I was campaigning for the office I am in now, we told the people, we told the world, and when I say the world, I mean the people of the state as well as all those who were following our activities, that in honor of the very many, and when I say very many, I mean it, because more than 75% of outstanding evangelists and Christian ministers are from Ilesha.
Can you name them?
I will. Please, let me. It's important that I say this.
Yeah.
Are from Ilesha or towns that have affinity with Ilesha. So in their honor, we felt that something must be done in Ilesha or its environment that will attract these Christian icons to Ilesha. Two, in memory of a charismatic pioneer, indigenous evangelist by name Apostle Joseph Ayo Babalola. We felt who in the first instance started the Pentecostal ministry in his indigenous form, and we by our consultation and interpretation of his epiphany, we realized that we found out that 40-kilometer radius to where he claimed to get his anointing. Virtually all the leading clerics of Pentecostalism emerged from, and I want to name them. I'll start from those who are within that 40-kilometer periphery, who are in the outer wing of the 40-kilometer periphery. Oyedepo, Bishop Oyedepo was born in Oshogbo. Pastor Matthew Ashimolowo was born in Gongon, Odeumu.
In Osun State?
No, Osun State. Dr. Olukoya of Mountain of Fire and Miracle was born in Akure. These are not Ijeshas, but where they were born fall within the 40-kilometer periphery of the epiphany of Joseph Ayo Babalola. Then Pastor Kumuyi, Pastor Adeboye, Fakeye, Prophet Fakeye, Prophet Obadere deceased, Prophet Abiara, and the head of the Apostolic Church. I've forgotten his name. All these are Ijeshas, born within the period of the emergence of Apostle Joseph Ayo Babalola. So when you now put that together, in 2005, when I began my effort to be in the government house as a governor, we saw all of this, and we promised the people that as an honor to those outstanding ministers of God, and in memory of the pioneer Pentecostal work of Apostle Joseph Ayorola, we will cite a Christian convention center that could accommodate 200,000 worshippers. And this we began working on even long before the election, and soon after, as we were pursuing the reclamation of our mandate, we kept on working at it.
But the allegation is that you chased out people from their farms and you took over a mass land.
Listen, it's a lie, pure lie.
So how did you get the land?
I will come to it. It's good for you to even hear the story. When you hear the story, you will see the total falsity of the claim, of this mischievous claim. As I was saying, we promised the people that we would do it, and we started contacting the ministers to have their understanding and assurance that they will be having crusades, revivals, and rallies there. Because besides the spiritual import of the center we were planning, there's an economic side to it, which again is quite important. If 200,000 people gathered in a place on a weekly basis, the revenue import to the state or significance to the state is 10.4 billion naira annually.
How did you arrive at that figure?
If you have 52 weeks in a year,
okay,
and I've mentioned not less than 8 ministers, yes, Christian ministers. If you count the numbers, they can't be less than 8, they can be more than 8. So if they in turn, okay, and each of them has followings beyond 200,000. Anyway, Pastor Adeboye definitely has following beyond than 200,000. Pastor Kumu does. Pastor Ashimolowo does. Dr. Olukoya does. Bishop Oyedepo does. Abiara, Obadari, Fakeye, the head of the Apostolic Church. There's an apostolic church that whose head is from Elisha. I cannot recall his name now. So when you put them all together, each of them could pull to any rally ground, any crusade ground, rather, not rally, any crusade ground, over 200. So if 200,000 people gather on a weekly basis, in turn, and each of the 200,000 people spends on sundry matters, either taxi, transportation, coke, water, akara, bread or whatever, 1,000 naira on each trip. That is 200 million. So 200 million times 52 is 10.4 billion. So 10.4 billion phenomena to the economy of the state. However, to your question of whether we purchased the land or not, we did not purchase the land.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, a week after my inauguration, specifically a week, I was inaugurated on the 27th of November 2010, on the 4th of December 2010, an event was put together by the 1956-60 set of Elisha Grammar School for a 50 million naira endowment fund, to which I was invited. And in that event were Pastor Adeboye, Owaru Molano, Professor Omole, Chief Tunde Oloko, who I think was the chairman of that set of students from Elisha Grammar School. And when I was to make a remark, I looked at Pastor Adeboye and I said, Baba, we have promised the people to build a Christian convention center in Ilesha in honor of you and people like you and in memory of those apostles, Joseph Ayo Babalola. We will want you to support us but whenever we finish the center by coming once in a while to do your crusade and revival so as to bless our land. I did not make mention of the economic aspect because I wouldn't want that to be an issue. But I said that on the 4th of December 2010, journalists were there of all shades, electronic and print, when this was said. And I had repeated it severally thereafter. I could recall when Baba visited me on his way to the Holy Ghost crusade of the following year. I said the same thing as well to him. So, but it was the open declaration of it by me on the 4th of December that elicited the interest of a community, Odoiju, in Atakumosa West local government. The Aloja, the head of that community, wrote a letter to me, voluntarily providing the land to us. It's not a farmland. First of all, let's clear that. It's not a farmland, it's a forest land. Provided by the community free of charge to us.
Because they know the interest.
No, they just got interested in it from my pronouncement at that event. And the letter is there for all to see. He wrote me, and it took us this long because, well, we are a state with very, very limited resource. So we and with gargantuan projects to serve the people and meet their core needs. So I think when invariably we got the money to compensate the community member more as a means of settling any rancor or tension that our presence could bring, that the issue became a public thing. So that is it. We did not buy the land. The land was given to us by the community. The compensation was more of a means of assuaging members of the community, and we never took over any farmland.
We've got a caller on the line. Good evening. Hello, good evening. Good evening. What's your name, please?
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Good evening. Go ahead. Please make your point. Good evening. We can hear you.
My name is Julie.
Yeah, where are you calling from, please?
Yeah, my point is just to tell the Nigerians that our problem is not churches. I can see the gentleman
The governor
saying he's got acres of land for this or that, for churches, but forgotten that Nigerians need jobs.
Okay, you made your point. Now, she has a point, though. What have you done in terms of providing jobs? Because I know the controversy about the church is why I brought it.
No, there's no church anyway. It's an ecumenical center.
Ecumenical center.
So let's clearly clear. I mean, people get themselves worked up unnecessarily. I find it difficult for people not to understand. Even let's take it off of where she is. Can't we even imagine the job that a center that cares about 200,000 people will throw up? let's assume she's even right. But the economic advantage of such a center to the people is beyond anything anybody could imagine. I hope you understand. How much are you going to even spend there to make it a place for gathering of religious people who already are there anyway? They are from this place. They have attraction. So, and through it, there will be collateral economic activities. But to your question, and I want to answer them. No government in the history of Nigeria has done what we have done.
In terms of job creation.
In terms of job creation, no government in the history of Nigeria. And let me tell her, and people who think like her, if she's a lady, we, within 100 days of our assumption of office, engaged 20,000 youth and put them sets run for 2 years, after which we get another set. The second set is there now of 20,000. So in all, my administration has engaged 40,000 youth who hitherto had nothing to do, and we have given them life. We put them through a rigorous leadership and discipline program that makes them a changed people, a changed personality. They now know how to fend for themselves. They know how to organize themselves. They know how to take care of themselves. That is on youth employment and empowerment. We are supporting widows in a way that no government had ever done. We are supporting elderly citizens in a way that no government has ever done. And added to that is what we are doing with the teens on midday meal. That program has created jobs for 3,100 women. Not to talk of our intervention in agriculture and food production. Farmers are organized into cooperatives. They are given interest-free loans. We give them extension services. We provide improved variety of seeds. We support them. We clear land for them to farm. We have given them opportunity to move their produce from our state to the market in Lagos. So what we have done, what we have done in terms of empowerment of the people, creation of economic activities, and helping them to overcome the drudgery of their life is unprecedented in the issue of Osun.
We have another caller on the line. I think we've got Dipo. Good evening, Dipo. Hello, Dipo. Dipo, are you still on the line? Okay, now, Dipo, are you there?
Hello.
Go ahead and ask you, where are you calling from, please?
Hello.
Hello, I can hear you.
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Go ahead and ask your question and tell us where you're calling from.
Hello. Yes, I am. I'm calling from Nottingham.
Okay, go ahead, Dipo.
Okay. Mr. Kayode, we are spending so much time talking about religion.
Yeah, we've left religion now. We have left religion. Can you go ahead and ask?
Move on to.
Let's go. Yeah, just ask any other. We've left religion. It was important to just clear that because that's the most important issue that is raging on online. But let's pick another issue now. What else do you have in mind?
Yeah, I want to make a recommendation.
Hello, Dipo. Okay, Dipo is actually right because we spend so much time on, and it's because that's one of the issues that is burning. When I look at Punch newspaper and most of the media, it seems. Do you think it's a form of distraction to your administration? What, in terms of, in 3.5 years, what has happened in Osun State?
A lot. We have changed the face of the state, and is distinct from other states. Entering Osun from any part of Nigeria will give you a new vista, a new experience, a new appearance from any part of Nigeria, be it northern part, southern part, eastern part. Osun is changing, is evolving to be a modern geographical space.
Is it in terms of roads, construction? In terms of
in terms of the environment is key. Because environment is the combination of all. Yeah. The road, the verges, the median, the general outlook of the people. Also is changing. It is evolving to be a beautiful place.
One of the criticisms is that you have, at least one of your opponents, they say you sort of communized the office of the governor, and that they feel you just sort of, you don't behave like the usual Nigerian government in the first place. Do you think your style is offensive to people who have been governor before, who just feel that, look, this guy is just
Well, don't forget that most of these characters have no business even being aspiring to lead a people. What you use two words. You use two expressions that were offensive to me when you began this. You called me Your Excellency. Yeah. You called me Executive Governor. And I asked myself.
Yeah. And I know you don't like people.
Where are all these things? Is it in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Is it in any of our statutes that people in these offices must be so described and honored? No. And these things have entered the head of occupants of these offices to the extent that they are outraged whenever anybody fails to so honor them. And I ask myself, if you occupy an office of service and you are so much concerned about the appellations and honorifics to the detriment of what we are supposed to do, then what is it? What is the business? Why are you there? The constitution is so clear that the principal responsibility of any government is the welfare and security of the people. If the people you are to take care of are pining away in misery and poverty, what is your joy? Okay, where is your pride? How do you want to satisfy yourself that you are indeed excellent or you are executive? I don't know.
Let me draw you to national politics now. The APC, which is your party, are you confident that in 2015 you will be able to win the people to get federal power? Will you get the mandate?
The way you ask it is dangerous. I'm not God. So the question of being confident is out of it. But we are working hard at providing for the Nigerian people a leadership that will ameliorate their sufferings. It is so sad that very many of our youth are jobless. It is sad that electricity is a rare commodity. It's scarce. It is sad that basic water supply, potable water supply, is lacking. It is sad that road development is limited and inadequate, and so on and so forth. It is worrisome that insecurity is so pervasive in our society. When you put all of this together, unemployment, lack of electricity, lack of social amenities, insecurity, it is a duty for patriots to indeed sacrifice everything to ensure that a new leadership emerges to salvage Nigeria from its ruinous path.
But it's not new leadership when you're giving support to most of the PDP governors. You know, they're coming and everyone...
I wouldn't want to join issues with you on that, but let us take something. In a period of emergency, which I believe we are in a period of democratic emergency, the nicety of puritanism in ideological loyalty or faithfulness cannot be entertained. Whoever subscribes to the main objective of dropping all cants to salvage Nigeria for the present phase of the struggle is allowed and welcome.
We'll take a phone call now. Good evening, please. Hello, good evening, Francis.
Hello.
Hello, Francis, go ahead. Where are you calling from, please?
Hello.
Hello, I can hear you. Just make your point, please.
Hello.
Hello, Francis. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm calling from London.
Yeah, go ahead, Francis.
Okay. Yes. Oh, yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I want to give kudos to the governor there, because I don't normally turn the governor, because we understand their work they are doing there over there in Nigeria, because...
Hello, Francis, are you still there?
But I have to give him thanks because I have watched some of his program, and although I'm not from that state, Yeah. Hello?
Hello, Francis. It seems, I think you have you need to turn down the volume of your TV so that we can speak directly to you. Because we need to take more calls. Okay, we're going to leave Francis there. Ogbeni, I want to ask you one question. And that is, election is coming up in your state in a few months' time. We're waiting for INEC. Are we going to have a violent, free 2014 election in Osun State? We know the history of what happened before you became governor. I mean, loads of souls were lost. What can we do to make sure that doesn't happen again?
We have eliminated the specter of violence. If the federal government does not promote violence, there won't be violence. If you recall, since my inauguration, we have not had any incident of violence. We refused, after our inauguration, to be drawn to any vengeance or vendetta. And we warned all our followers and party members not to indulge in such act. And ever since then, peace, real peace, has returned to our state. This fact has been confirmed by no less a personality than the Deputy High Commissioner of Britain and several high-ranking diplomats and citizens of our land. We have eliminated, we have put, security is a major item of intervention of our administration. So from what we have done, there can't be any violence at all. But we must appeal to the federal government. And those who are there, they seem to be very desperate. And we are calling on Nigerians to watch out for any acts of violence that these characters might want to unleash on our people. We are peace-loving, we are peace-seeking, and we are peace-promoting administration. We believe they too will be civilized enough to know that democracy does not require any high-handed manipulation of the process. The people must be allowed to express themselves in what we call universal adult suffrage.
Okay, I'll first take Comfort. Good evening. We've got a caller. Comfort, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead. Comfort, where are you calling from, please? Hello, Comfort. Yeah, we seem to be having... Yeah, go ahead, Comfort. Please contribute to the program. Okay, I will come to... I think Comfort is hanging there. Okay, we concede the fact that there's been peace in Osun State. But it's not the same in Ekiti, in Ogun State, where the APC, your party, is... and there seems to be... I've not read any statement from the National Publicity Secretary about the violence in Ogun State, as it would have responded to violence in other parts of the country.
But perhaps the party is studying what is happening there. There's always a word or difference between what you read in the papers, because the papers are not really without affiliation and affiliation and inclination. They are not. The papers are not usually neutral. Look at what we have just discussed about my intention, my policies and programs, and the positions of some newspapers. So I believe in that a clear policy on what is happening in Ogun. I would rather want to wait and see how the party will resolve the matter.
Okay, we want to take some of the text messages that are coming in. And the first thing is, can you ask Ogbeni what his son has got to do with Opoimo? And that's a test.
I will tell him. Let me explain to you so that you get this thing clear. Yes, there has been, if a government is successful, there will be people who just want to smear that administration. Opoimo is a phenomenon for democratization, for radical democratization of learning. Nobody disputes that. But to smear it, also of insinuations, had been leveled. But the truth is, my son is an expert in information communication technology, which we call ICT. When the inspiration came to me for the development of Okpoimo, he assisted in farming it up and making it a reality. That was all he had to do with it. Outside that, he had no other role.
Okay.
Experts were gathered, and they are still in the project management office working on Okpoimo. My son was not involved, and is not involved in Okpoimo.
Okay, Ogbeni, because I want to take as many of these text messages that are coming in. I'll take this. Yomi Bakare, the first question is, why don't we have the office of the First Lady in Osun State? Does it mean that Ogbeni is still single? Then the second part of his question is, because I just want to make sure we give democratic rights for people to voice.
Any office of First Lady, and we don't want to breach the Constitution.
On
the question of school, we didn't take over any Christian school. Part of the misjudgment and misassessment of our, wrong assessment of our administration. The government of Nigeria in 1975 enacted a law, 1975, 38 years ago, enacted a law that took over all schools, all missionary schools in Nigeria. This up to 75. And therefore, all schools in Nigeria, particularly in my state, bearing Christian or Muslim or any other missionary names, are public schools, long before I became a governor. So it is totally false to ever think that owned by any nation. Okay,
Ogbeni, I want to, there's this question on Twitter, and it says, Dear Kayode, could you ask Ogbeni, that it's a question, I want to invest in Osun State to create jobs. What will the government provide as an incentive in the agricultural field?
Yeah, depending on your demand, we will help you get land. I will support you to the limit of our capacity. To do this, contact my office or Office of Economic Development and Partnership under the leadership of Dr. Shaz Akinola, who will give you all facility for you to have your investment.
Okay, I'm going to take a caller now. Good evening, caller. Hello, good evening. Okay, I'll just take the...
Hello?
Hello, good evening. Go ahead and tell us where you're calling from.
Hello?
Hello, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Hello?
Hello, go ahead, please.
Hello?
Okay, I'll just take another question.
My name is Franz Ika Thomas.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Go ahead.
Ekale Governor.
Okay, Osheo.
Ekale Governor.
Mo ń dáhùn, ẹ̀yin náà Ekale o. Odò àgbè wa o.
Mo kí yín lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀. Sorry to bother you because I'm going to say my own in Yoruba language.
Just go ahead. We are running out of time. Go ahead.
Which is Yoruba language. That's why I'm now trying to use my own question in my mother's tongue.
Go ahead, please.
Gómìnà tí gbogbo wa ti sọ pé afẹ́rí náà ló dé yìí. Ẹ bá ń gbóhùn mi gómìnà. Orúkọ tèmi ni Adéyínká Thomas. Mo ti sọ tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀ pé tí bá láyè wá sí ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun, màá gbìyànjú láti dọ́dọ̀ yín. Èmi àti Sọjí tó jẹ́ bí ẹ̀yin àtijọ́ sọ. Ṣùgbọ́n àwọn ìbéèrè tí mo fẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ yín ni gómìnà. Inú mi dùn pé ẹ mẹ́nuba ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀sìn. Ẹ̀dẹ̀ sọ nípa ọgbọ́n ìmọ̀. Ṣùgbọ́n gómìnà wa wọ́n ń bẹ̀rẹ̀. Wọ́n ní ìgbà tá a gbé ilé-ìwé padà fún àwọn mísọ́nárì. Wọ́n ló mọ kọ́ wọ ìjáàbù lọ sí Baptist tàbí school kan. Wọ́n wá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ìlú principal lù ìgbà tó kẹ́ lọ lẹ́ àwọn kan wá láti lẹ́wọ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ìlú principal. Ẹ̀gbọ́n ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ ni.
Okay, you've made your point. I don't know. Do you want to say it in Yoruba?
I will say it in English.
In English,
it's good. It's good for others.
For others to, yeah.
Well, what you have just said. what I've just said.
For the benefit of our viewers, the question about the caller is asking the governor is Is it true that a lady who she had hijab on and she was beaten or something like so?
Yeah, the issue of hijab is controversial. It has been controversial for years, long before my assumption of office. And I have refrained from taking side on the matter. I've refrained from taking side on the matter. However, in Baptist High School, Ejigbo, a lady who had her own issue bordering on discipline was punished by the principal. And rather than just calmly take a misfortune, which was occasioned by her rudeness, she went home to misinform her parents. And her parents, in turn, alerted their congregation. Yes, an attempt was made by the similarly enraged congregation to visit their anger on the principal. But the quick intervention of the Imam of Ejigbo prevented it. However, it was reported in the papers that indeed something ominous happened. We have since settled the matter, and there is no such thing anymore. Okay. That is how to put it. And by the way, the context in which this is put is not correct. We didn't take over any school. Schools have been taken over since about 38 years ago by government. What we are doing is to restructure education in a way that our administration will maximize our limited resources to ensure functional, efficient, and effective learning in our basic education facility.
Okay, I've got a question on Twitter from Oluwafemi Asinio-Keda. He said, how many key projects have been done and concluded in Osun State?
Very many. We've concluded over 300 kilometers of road as I'm talking to you. We finished the inner ring road in Osogbo. We have finished the inner ring road in Ilesha. We have finished the major road intervention in Ede, Iwo, Ife, and several of those towns. Yes, some other road projects are ongoing. The airport development is ongoing. School, we have concluded several school buildings, modern state-of-the-art school buildings. We are working on hospitals. Our social welfare schemes are all ongoing. That is completed in terms of meeting our objective, but we are not stopping. Our agricultural program is going on. We are producing virtually all the food items that we use for our school feeding system, from cattle to chicken to egg to fish, and several of such. As a matter of, we have finished the first phase of the redevelopment of a recreation ground, which is called Nelson Mandela Freedom Park. Life is coming back to Osun in a very fantastic way.
Okay, I've got a question on Twitter too from @Bumola2010, Daligeri, and it says, personally, I am not against the Opoimo. I think it's a brilliant initiative, but I am concerned about the implementation. I want to know the number of Opoimos that has been supplied so far.
Yeah, we have supplied, as I'm talking to you, close to 20,000 tablets to students in the third year of high school. And by our program, this will continue until we get all the students in high school, that is grade 10, 11, and 12.
Okay, I'm not going to take, I want to take critical questions now. Are you corrupt?
Not at all, not in any way.
So if after you leave office now, we're not going to find money belonging to the people of Osun State?
Difficult. Let me explain to you where this cannot even be so. I was the Commissioner for Works and Infrastructure in Lagos for 8 years. The volume of projects that passed through my hand is more than anything I can do in Osun, because Osun does not have the resources to do that huge level of work. So If I was not in any way involved in any deal, any shady deal in Lagos, what will make me so do in Osun? More so, when what we must work on in Osun are so huge that the resources of Osun cannot even do. What are we doing? We are stretching to the farthest limit every kobo of the public fund. So, as far as I'm concerned, the issue of corruption is not an issue I want to engage anybody on.
Now, let's talk about regional integration, because you are a firm believer in regional integration. What is hindering the progress? Ondo does not seem to be cooperating.
Well, I will rather not indict anybody. It's an ongoing process. It's not a cut and dry issue. You must persuade. You must encourage. You must attract all the other stakeholders to understand the benefit in coming together to advance a common goal. And we could start from even supporting a football team to be the nucleus of our regional commitment to sport promotion. Yeah. And then we move from there to infrastructure. We move from there to education. We move there to healthcare delivery system, and so on. So the effect of military rule of over 30, 40 years cannot just be simply dismissed. So we will gradually get there, and we are getting there.
One of the major allegations was that you have a secessionist agenda. You know, even the 40,000 youths, the allegation is that you're just training a standing army like the just alleged to be doing in the Niger Delta. Do you have a secession?
Do I look like somebody that can even want a fly? I don't know where these ideas emanated from. I don't think I look like anybody that can want a fly. That is one, two. Whether I do look like one or not is not an issue. The truth is, Osun is an inland state, ensconced all around by other states. So, will it be reasonable for a state like Osun, 3.6 million people in the middle of other states, to want to secede? Where are we seceding to?
Governor Aregbesola, the governor of Osun State, we're glad to have you. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you, viewers. We see you next Thursday for the Real Politics with KO show, and we want to thank you all for calling in. Good night and God bless.